before we start in Cincinnati, Ohio, we've got to start in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What with the Steelers going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals last night. And Mike Tomlin was first up this week with one of the sound bites of the year. Showing up and showing out and then firing a verbal grenade in the direction of Berea, Ohio, where the Cleveland Browns have their front offices, where once upon a time, I do believe Andrew Berry, the general manager, got a phone call from the Cincinnati Bengals saying, hey, you just benched Joe Flacco. You just had him standing there with earbuds. Mm-hmm. If we had clipboards anymore in the NFL, he'd be holding one. He's standing there in London and watching Dylan Gabriel play football. And so, long story short is, you want to trade Joe Flacco over here? Because, our backup quarterback and Jake Browning is doing something to the bed here.
Despite the best efforts of Rich Eisen.
Despite the best efforts of Rich Eisen trying to talk Jake Browning's game up. And we could use Joe Flacco here. I know he's your week one starter, but he's no longer your starter. I know we're in division, but maybe you could check this box and we could, hang out some. And Andrew Berry goes, sure. We'll trade him to you. And Mike Tomlin was, what's the way to describe how he felt about this trade? Pissed.
Yeah, not happy.
This is what he had to say earlier this week.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
From Cincinnati's perspective, did it make sense for them?
It certainly made sense from Cincinnati's perspective.
So it's almost as if Mike Tomlin saw Joe Flacco becoming the fourth quarterback in NFL history to have 300 or more passing yards, 3 or more passing touchdowns, and no interceptions in a game after turning 40 years old, joining Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Drew Brees in that regard. It's almost as if he saw Joe Flacco becoming the first Bengals quarterback to have 3 or more passing touchdowns or zero interceptions the same game against the Pittsburgh Steelers since Carson Palmer in 2005. It's almost as if he saw Joe Flacco tying a franchise record for Cincinnati with 5 passing touchdowns in his first 2 games as a Bengal. It's almost as if he saw Joe Flacco improve upon his first start for the Bengals in Green Bay just 5 days later to come up with a 100 passer rating in the 2 games combined after having a passer rating of 60.3 in weeks 1 through 4 for Cleveland, worst in the NFL. It's almost as if Mike Tomlin saw Flacco have 2 passing touchdowns and 6 interceptions in his first 4 games as a Brown and having 3 just last night against his Steelers. It's almost as if Tomlin saw it all. Nostratomlin.
Nostratomlin.
It's almost as if Mike saw it coming. And sure enough, it wasn't Jake Browning against the Steelers last night. It was Joe Flacco doing Joe Flacco comeback player of the year with the Cleveland Browns things and Joe Flacco MVP of the Super Bowl for the Ravens things for the Bengals. Every team but the Steelers in the AFC North. He's touching them all. And last night, he also had the idea of just winging it whenever he needed to. This is the crazy thing. For Flacco to do what he did on Thursday Night Football against the Steelers, and again, it is quite a night for him. And Joe Flacco, the numbers, 342 passing yards on 31 of 47 attempts.
Jeez.
He almost had as many attempts as he's had years on earth.
Come on.
He had more so.
It's too old.
Passer rating of 108.6. He was hot. He had a fever.
And that fever.
It was
it cowbell?
Well, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary.
Yeah.
As he was baptizing them all night long. It's amazing because this soundbite says it all. He was kind of winging it because he doesn't know the playbook fully yet.
some of these words are so new to me, and when you don't get a chance, like I honestly felt like this week was probably a little bit harder than last week, just because it's such a short week. You're still putting in a full game plan. You don't get to hear the play as much. So there were certain things with and I can picture everything, but there's certain things with formations and things like that you're hearing for the first couple times. And even though you've read the play a million times, like when you hear it, just wasn't hitting my brain right. So there was a few of those, and we were joking on the sideline. Like anytime that happened, and we broke the play, and we broke the huddle, and it was like, I don't know if we're right here. I mean, that play hit. So we got lucky tonight in that sense.
Wow.
Tomlin's not laughing.
No.
It's like he saw it coming. You know who's laughing?
Thomas.
Zach Taylor's laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He loses one Joe, and another one shows up. Because the Browns are like, take our Joe. You lost your Joe.
He's laughing because he's off the hot seat.
Take ours. What a night. Roll it.
Outstanding. Yeah, Joe, I mean, it was outstanding, really. I mean, we how many drives? We scored on what, like 6 of the last 7 drives, maybe? 7 of the last 8? What 7 of 8? Okay, so, and really early on, we had some drops and some quirky stuff happen that prevented a score there. So just thought his performance was outstanding, very, very calm, collected. He's got 18 years of experience playing these games. I mean, we're in a short week playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that we needed to have. And he's just like, it's easy for him, you know, and it's not because he's putting in the work. It's just he's so experienced in this situation. You gain a lot of confidence from that because he goes out there. It's not too big. I have to enunciate my formations better because some of them we're hearing them for the first time, and so I got to do a better job enunciating. I think it's my Oklahoma accent. Got him a couple times, but I thought he did a great job managing the game.
Diction. He needs to work on his diction now.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
That's right.
Of all the things that Zach Taylor said that he needed to work on with his team over the last month, where do you think diction ranked? Now, this is what happens.
100?
This is what happens
Yes,
when
to
you
enunciate.
acquire Joe Flacco and you stick him in. And
Well, Flacco's playing like it's 2023.
well, I'll just tell you this, and again, I'm not an all 22 guy. I'm not grinding tape like, say, Kurt Warner.
Right.
I don't have a YouTube channel. I mean, I have a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers.
Hey, now.
But I don't have one dedicated to all 22. So you'll have to excuse me if I'm a little out of my lane here.
Sure.
But the offense is easy to pick up when you can throw it to Jamar Chase.
Simple.
You know, when in
there's
doubt,
one,
and
there's 5.
Right.
Just find
There's
them.
2 number 1 receivers.
There's 30 in the
Which
back
is why
behind
it
you.
was just like, hey, Jake Browning, like,
Bro.
what's up? Like, you know,
There or there.
how does Chase and Higgins sound to you? You know, and then Chase Brown having over 100 yards rushing on top of it, that helps. And but Flacco was getting the ball out quickly.
Yep.
He was not like the iron deer on the front lawn. But Jamar Chase, I wrote it down here. He had a record 1 million targets last night. That's really
incredible.
He had as many targets as we have YouTube subscribers.
Oh, man.
That's
Wow,
really
I see what you did there.
amazing.
What a
Like your style.
13th career game with 125 or more yards and at least a receiving touchdown. Tied for 4th most in his first 5 seasons. The only ones who have more are his college teammate, Justin Jefferson.
He's really
Again,
good.
how stupid was that roster at LSU?
I mean,
we got Ryan Clark in hour 2. I'm sure
arguably
he'll
the
And
greatest
they
remind
had Kayshon Boutte, too, doing it for New England. now.
with the first Joe that started for the Bengals this year. Randy Moss had 14 and Lance Allworth, Bambi,
Randy Moss.
16. So the Bengals 100% kept their season afloat.
Yep.
At the end of the year, we'll wonder if this is when they saved their season. And that's a fact. Trey Hendrickson wasn't in this game. Aaron Rodgers looked superb.
He did.
Yeah. He looked like old school Rodgers, where he's moving around, he's sliding around, he's sashaying around. He's got eyes in the back of his head,
dimes. His tight end's
dropping
balled out.
dimes. The first dime he dropped to DK Metcalf on the night in the bucket, right on the sideline. He's finding every tight end that he's got for a touchdown. I've got a did you know on that to end the first hour, by the way. And he's showing up and showing out to the point where it set a record for most combined passing touchdowns by 40-year-old quarterbacks in a head-to-head meeting of all time. 7 of them. They had 7 touchdowns last night as Rodgers had 4. Flacco had 3. And the 3 previous matchups were all Brady versus Breeze. And so on a night where Rodgers is showing up, scoring a touchdown against that Bengals defense to Pat Freiermuth on a wide-open shot at the end of the game to shock the world and give the ball back to Flacco to say, try and win it, Joe, and yada, yada, yada. He did. But for him to do that, and by the way, Rodgers was set up, and you want to talk about how terrific he looks. He threw another perfect Hail Mary shot.
Dude, 70 yards in the air.
For a chance to win it. And that's how the Bengals survived the night, because Joe Flacco was doing what he had to do to find his wide receivers over and over and over again, to the tune of 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. And Jamar Chase having an incredible season to continue right now on a night where he had 23 targets. 23 targets. Higgins had 10. So that's what you need to have happen when you've got 2 stud receivers that you pay to stay put for Joe Burrow, who goes down. In other words, the person who he's got to thank, all of them, there in Cincinnati, is Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns.
Rich, the way you described that earlier about the call was almost like when you were in school and you got this note. Do you want Joe?
Yes, no, maybe. Check the box.
Maybe.
Check the box.
It's like a 6th grade note.
Check the box.
So
well done on all fronts, everybody. From Cincinnati to Joe Flacco's household. I'm sure he's living out. He's living out of a suitcase.
Sure.
He's living an itinerant lifestyle. Again, he does indeed.
Okay, write that
you
down.
go from being benched in Britain
Oasis
to hailed in Cincinnati because you've beaten the Steelers on a short week is unbelievable. The latest, you can't make this stuff up. And Mike Tomlin saw it coming. He knew it was going to be tougher. He just didn't know that, Jalen Ramsey would be toasted as much as he appeared to be last night every now and then.
Mike Tomlin now 2-10 on Thursday Night Football on the road.
0-7 on Thursday night at a division opponent. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.